Hey guys, this is Mario Kart. This is going to be a part of my Brawl porting tutorial. In this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to play Super Smash Bros. Brawl on your computer. Of course, we're going to be using the Dolphin emulator, and I'll also show you guys how to install a mod from the BrawlVault. Yep. Anyway, this is just to give beginners an idea of how to install mods, get it going on your computer, and from there you can get a feel for if you want to start making your own mods or whatnot. Okay. Anyway, like I said, we're going to be running Brawl off your PC, so you're going to need a pretty beefy computer, a powerful machine. If you come here, this is the website, the emulator website. It talks about some history, and it also shows you a nice little guide on how to install Dolphin and get your games running with it. Okay, so for more in-depth detail, you can come here. Okay, just browsing over their system requirements, it looks like any computer within the last 6 or 5 years should do you. Okay, but in the event your machine just isn't strong enough to run Dolphin for whatever reason, the only other choice you have would be to use the actual Wii hardware. Okay. To do that, you have to hack the console, so I'm not going to get into using the Wii hardware, although since we are using an emulator, anything we are doing on the emulator can be done on the hardware. Okay. Anyway, so let's carry on. If you're all ready to get started, we can click on the download button here. Okay. You can see here we have two options, Windows 32-bit and Windows 64-bit programs. If you're not familiar with that, if you go to Start and go to My Computer, right-click and go to Properties, this will give you some basic information about your computer. And you can see it tells me my operating system and my CPU stuff and my RAM. But right here under System Type, it says I have a 64-bit operating system. Okay, that means I can run 64-bit programs as well as 32-bit programs. So I can choose both of these if I like. But since I'm 64-bit enabled, I can use 64-bit programs, which will run faster on my machine. Okay. Otherwise, if in doubt, just download the 32-bit program, and it'll run either or. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, let's close that. Click on that one. For me, anyway. Right here is the download page. As soon as you click here, you'll begin to download the program. Before you do that, just take note that this is a .7z package. Basically, this is a compressed file containing other files inside of it. Okay, if you're not familiar with that, then you should go and download the 7-zip program. It is a compression utility. It allows you to obviously take your files and crunch them down, and make them smaller. Okay. Actually, another common compression is zip. It is actually built into Windows. So if you've ever compressed a folder in Windows, and this is quite similar. And actually, 7-zip will do zip, and it'll do some other popular compressions, including WinRAR here. Okay, WinRAR is pretty popular. Zip is popular. Okay, 7-zip is a really good replacement for a compression utility. So don't hesitate to download it. It's free. Don't worry, there's no adware or nothing. It's a legit open source program, and it'll do you pretty good. Anyway, so download that and install that, and then you'll be able to open up these packages here. Okay, so once you have it installed and ready, you can click on here, and it'll download. All right, I have it right down here on my Chrome. Click on that, it opens up. Okay, of course, opening up in the 7-zip file manager here. Inside the package are all the Dolphin files here to run the emulator. I'm just going to drag them over to an empty folder here, create a folder called Dolphin on my C drive. I can just drag that across there. Okay. So that's it. There's no installer. You just drag them over, and from that you can just run the program. Okay. So I just double-clicked on the Dolphin executable, and now I'm into Dolphin, the emulator. Okay. If you notice, it looks very similar to Project PJ. If you're in the scene back when they were doing N64 emulation, this is nicely formatted, quite the same. You have a list here where you can install or add various games from either the GameCube or Wii. okay, and you also have a rating system and various notes and stuff like that, okay. So it is a very nice layout and quite similar to the Project 64. Anyway, what we have to do is obviously add some games into our list. We're only going to be dealing with one game, obviously, Super Smash Bros. Brawl Melee. Okay, this of course is my dump of Super Smash Bros. Brawl. I actually dumped this from my Wii hardware. Okay, I hacked or modded my hardware when the console first launched. I believe the first hack was the Twilight Princess hack. Of course, I modded mine, and I was able to use CleanRip, which is a homebrew app, to use the Wii hardware to copy my game onto my PC. Okay. Currently, this is the only way of doing it, I believe. Otherwise, you cannot stick it in your CD-ROM and copy it that way. It doesn't work that way. I may be wrong. There may be alternative methods since I last checked, but the only method is you actually use your Wii hardware. Okay. So considering that, if you don't have a modded or hacked Wii, you may want to look at other means. For example, downloading a torrent or something. Okay, you can get it that way. But I'll leave that up to you. All you have to do is get the ISO of your game, and you're good to go. Okay. Also, if you're not familiar with what an ISO is, basically, as I just said, if you take a game like a CD or a DVD, and you can make a copy of it, put it in your CD or DVD tray, and use the software to copy it, most often they will be saved in a single file, and that file format will be called ISO. Okay, it's just a standard saving format. Okay, so same thing, same idea. I've saved it from the Wii, and it's been named as an ISO. Okay, so we can use these ISOs, and other than burning them to a disk, we can actually open them up in Dolphin here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the directory path here and copy it, and I'm going to go over here to Browse on the emulator, and in this little box here, I'm able to paste in my directory path here. So when I hit OK, it's going to search this directory. Okay, you can see that it's found Super Smash Bros. Brawl. Okay, so right away we're good to start playing. Before I start the game, I'm just going to cover over some basic configurations to get you familiar with the emulator, although they are very basic. This button here will allow you to configure your Wii remote. Okay, the Wii remote right now is by default controlled by your mouse, so moving the mouse will be the same as moving the Wii remote. Your left and right click act as the A and B, and so forth and so forth. All right. You also have the GC paddle. Okay, good thing about Super Smash Bros. Brawl is you have the ability to use a GameCube controller, and I'm actually more of a fan of the actual controller. So just give me a second, and I'm going to actually put in my controls. Okay, so that's easy. DSP is sound related. I usually put the volume down. The graphics. The only thing I'm going to enable in the graphics here is render to main window. Okay. Usually when you use the emulator, it'll split into separate windows. I rather prefer to have them in the main window there. The rest of the things have to deal with enhancements. So if you had a pretty good computer, very powerful machine, I would recommend putting up the graphics higher, and you would get a better picture quality, etc. Okay. Other things include hacks to pick up speed, improve speed, or whatnot, get you more frames. Really, you should not be touching this unless you need to try and push your machine a little bit more, but yeah, they're there for you to experiment with. Okay, so that's it for graphics, and the last one is config. Okay, this just does some general stuff with the emulator, but very basic in general. The only thing I'm going to turn on is enable cheats. Okay, cheats are going to allow us to add, obviously, cheats like unlocking all the characters in the game. So that's something I want to be doing. So I'm going to enable that for now. The rest of the stuff you shouldn't be touching. Just make sure that your GameCube controller is enabled. Well, for me anyway, I'd rather use that. And the Wii side, you also want to enable the SD card. Okay. Later on, when we're trying to insert a mod, I'm going to use the SD card trick. Well, we're going to be using the SD card to insert mods. So we're going to have that ticked on for now. And this stuff is just about adding different subdirectories. Okay. Anyway, that's it. Nothing too complicated. Right click and go to Properties. Okay. And you want to go to the Gecko Codes tab. Okay. Here is a button that says Download Codes. So when you click that, you should be able to download codes for Brawl. Okay. And it detects your ISO or your ROM right here, and it'll give you lots of information. So this is all automatic for you. Okay. the codes we want obviously are all characters and stages and such, okay? And that's pretty much it. Later on, we're going to be adding another code in here, which will allow us to inject mods, okay? But for now, you can just leave on just those two. That will give you all characters, okay? So I'll just demonstrate that really quickly. Cheats do work really nicely in this game. Let's go through, come on. So yeah, you get spammed with a lot of unlocking messages. So yeah, you get the idea. So yeah, and you would just play this normally like you would any other way on the Wii console. Okay, so now we'll move on to installing a mod. Okay, so to do that, you're going to have to download a program called WinImage, right here. This was recommended to me by another person. It just allows you to edit the contents of an ISO. It's a freeware program. Okay, I think there's a trial, or it just annoys you anyway for registering, but you can download it and install it, and it seems to work okay. I've already installed it here. It's called WinImage. Yes. Okay. It's a very simple tool. It's not very complicated. But anyway, the virtual SD card is actually located under the users directory under the Wii folder. Okay. So you can notice here we have a file called sd.raw. That is in fact the SD card. Okay, this is by default a 128 megabyte card, I believe. Yes. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm unable to find an option to make Dolphin create a larger card, so you're kind of stuck at 128 megabytes. However, I did find a program called where is it? Here it is. Easy Dolphin SD Card Maker. Okay, I believe this is a quick way to create a larger card. So I downloaded it. I dragged it over to my Dropbox. So in the YouTube video, I'll be linking it to you guys. It looks pretty simple. You open up the program and you can specify. You want a 64 megabytes, 128 megabyte, 256 megabyte, up to 2 gigabytes, and you can make a new SD card, and it's designed for the Dolphin emulator. Okay, but otherwise we're just going to be using the standard 128 megabyte card. Okay, that should last you quite good. So anyway, that's the virtual memory card, or SD card, sorry, and we can install mods onto that. Okay, and I'll be showing you that in a second. First, let's find a mod so we can install it. So let's go back to Google Chrome. I'm going to show you guys the BrawlVault. Okay, this is actually a forum called Kitty Corp Meow Mix. Okay, I'm not really a fan of their name, but they do have a pretty interesting sharing network here. This is called the BrawlVault. Okay, it's a little leaderboard that's built into their website. Okay, and this leaderboard allows contributors or members to contribute their mods, and people can come to the leaderboard, and you have obviously top 10, random 10, most popular. So it's a nice way to share community mods between the community. Okay, so definitely register up here, and you'll have access to a lot of interesting mods. Anyway, I'm going to be downloading Aqua from Kingdom Hearts. Okay, it's an easy one to do. You just click on the name here to download. Usually people use Dropbox or MediaFire to host their files. Okay, so when you click that, we're going to save that file there. I'm just going to open it up here. Okay, so again, this is in my manager here, and I have some files inside that package. I'm just going to create a folder here. That's my Dolphin folder. I'm just going to name it mods. Okay, I'm going to drag this over here. Okay. All right. So let me explain some of these files here. These two are the files that you actually want. Okay. This is a model of Marth, and this is actually a compressed model of Marth. Okay. They're actually identical, but one's compressed. This other thing here is a display picture. Okay. So you have to install these to differently, and I'll show you how to do that. Okay, so first of all, we have to create a directory structure for WinImage. All right, and then we're going to place that into the structure. Just to demonstrate what the structure looks like, let me show you Dolphin here. When you click on properties on your ISO or game, the very last tab called File System is actually the files on the disk. Okay, so when we add stuff to the SD card, we have to basically emulate this file tree or file structure. So we have to create some of these folders basically. Okay, so I'm just going to create that folder tree in here. Okay, unfortunately, I'm not sure how you can create folders in here. So what I do is I usually create a folder in Windows, and I just put it in there. All right. So let's first open up our virtual card. Okay, SD card. Okay, this is our SD card. Okay. Yes, I have no idea how you can create folders in here. No. All right. So let's just create that folder tree. Okay. See if I can remember off the top of my head. Let's go to mods and create a folder tree. So first one's going to be private. Okay. Within that, you're going to create one called We. Okay. Inside of that, you're going to create one called App. There's apps. Try to remember here. Yeah, I got it written down somewhere. No, it's just App. Okay. App. And okay, the next one is going to be RSBE. Alright, that's the code for the game. Okay, and then the last one's going to be PF. Okay. Okay, so anything in the PF folder has to be the same as the disk structure. Okay, so I'm going to bring up this really quickly here. Okay, so again, properties, file system. So under Fighter here on the disk or the ISO, under Marth, you have those Marth files from the mod. So let's go back for a second. That person supplied us with these 3 files. If you notice, this file called fitmarth00.pack is exactly here on our disk or ISO. So we have to emulate this file tree here. So we have to make a folder called Fighter and a folder called Marth, and then put those 2 files in there. So let's go back here. So in the PF folder, you're going to create a folder called Fighter, another one called Marth. Alright. And you can just copy those 2 there. Okay, that's simple. The next one is for the menu. Okay, I believe that's in the menu 2 folder. So let's go back here, menu 2. Okay, create one called menu 2. Okay, inside of there's a single file you want. It's called sc_select character English. .pack. So we're just gonna extract that file there. User, wrong folder. Mods. That's where I'm at. That's where I am. Okay, menu 2 and save. Okay, now we can just close this down. Okay, just one thing to note. For some reason, you're supposed to remove the last 3 characters. So where it says _ENG, you're supposed to remove that. Okay, not sure why, but it's required. So that is the character icons. It contains every character icon in it. So every time you're adding a new mod, you have to edit the same one. Okay, just keep that in mind. Okay, so to edit the pack file, you actually need another program. That program is called BrawlVault. Okay, and you're gonna get really familiar with this program as you start modding. I'm gonna show you where to download it. Of course, it's on the BrawlVault. If you go to Advanced Search and type the name BrawlVault, okay, you'll get all the different versions of BrawlVault. Okay, eventually you'll end up at this MediaFire download here, and you can download it. Okay, download. Okay, again, I'm going to open that. So I'm just going to I'm gonna create that. I'm gonna drag these over. Okay. And now I can open BrawlBox. Would you like to run? Yes. Okay, this is BrawlBox now. If we go back to our mod folder and back to the menu 2, we can actually open up there it is. We can actually open up that pack file now. Okay. The display pics are actually under this blue one here called Character Bust. And Marth is 16? Yeah. Okay, wow. I'm going to post up a little file list for you guys too, so you guys can find the characters easier. Every character has just a generic number. This one is Zelda. Okay, so you'll just have to memorize them for a while. I'm going to definitely post up a character name list so you can find your icons a little more easier. Okay, but otherwise you can go through them all and just click on the textures. Okay, not too hard. We're going to place the first character slot, so that's the first image there. Let's go back. We want to place the existing Marth picture with that picture. To do that, you just right click and click on replace. Okay, now it's going to ask you to find your image. Okay, so here's our image. Okay, you don't have to do anything here, just hit OK, and now it's replaced. Okay, okay, now you can just hit save, and you can exit the program now. Right, so that's it. We're just going to delete this. Okay, we've already installed it, and now we're going to include this into our sd.raw. Okay, to do that, just go to image and go to inject folder, I believe, yes, and we're going to find the mod folder. So it's under C, Dolphin, mods. Hit OK. Would you like to inject 3 files? Yes. Okay. So you see on the root of the card, we have, oops, actually I put this in the wrong spot. This is supposed to be where the fighter folder is. After you do this initial one, it'll be a lot easier because you don't have to keep creating this file tree. I'm just going to paste in this one. Inject folder. Alright, so that's what you should have. That's what you should see is this file tree here. Okay, so next time when you want to add a new mod or whatnot, all you have to do is create a folder called maybe Marth, and you would inject it into the fighter folder here. Okay, same thing would go for the menu 2. You just replace this single file. Okay, unfortunately this program is kind of so you kind of have to struggle with it. Okay. Anyway, that's it. This thing automatically saves when you do an action, so when you close it, it'll all save for you. Okay. So that's pretty much it. Your mod's installed, so you can probably just clear this out. Okay. Now we're gonna actually play it in the game. To do that, we need the file replacement code. Okay. You can find that on Google, of course. Okay. It's actually located here. All right. I'll be pasting this in the YouTube video as well in the description, so you can find it a lot easier in case this website goes down or whatnot. Okay. They also have some more codes here on this website. I only found it through Google Cache. I'm not sure if their form is down or whatnot, but this is the only place I could find the rest of the codes. By that I mean they have the European and Japanese codes, if in the event you have those games. But I am using the North American version, so I'm using the North American code. Okay, so they don't actually have the old code; they're actually using the new code called 3.51. This code does not work with the emulator for some reason. It's a very lengthy code. Okay, I believe this just allows you to edit music or something like that. I don't think it's a big deal, but I'm just using the old code here, and I was only able to find it here, so that's why I'm using that. Plus, this one's formatted properly for you. You want to copy everything from the plus all the way down to the end of the number here where it says E. Okay, so I'm just going to copy this. To add a new code or Gecko code to your Dolphin, Oh, I already got Dolphin here. Again, you're going to right click on your game, go to Properties, and go over to the Gecko Codes tab. And you notice there's no Add or Move button here. Okay, it's kind of funny, but you have to go on this button that says Edit. Okay, when Edit comes up, it's just going to be a notepad. Okay, scroll all the way to the very bottom. All right. Okay, just hit Return or Enter to make a new space, and just paste what you copied from that web page. Okay. The important part is that you have this $sign here and the plus sign. Anything after that is the name. Anything underneath is going to be the code. Okay. So now when I close, it's going to ask me to save, of course. Hit yes. When that closes, it's going to update this list here. And now I have the file replacement code. Right, you can see that here. Okay. So that's all good and done for us. There's another code that I like to use called Unrestricted Camera. Let's see if I can find it here. Unrestricted Control Editing. Disappointing. Let's see if I can find that code. Alright, where's my dolphin? Alright. Alright, good. Close that, and we can test our mod. Okay. Alright, so let's find our mod here. Marth, right? Yes. Okay, you notice the icon hasn't changed. There's a little glitch in this new version of the emulator. I noticed that the codes don't kick in until the cache gets cleared out. If your mod's not showing, like for example, let's try to play Marth here. He should be a different character, but he's not. Okay. If you notice this happening, you have to... Let's get out of here first. There we go. If you notice that happening, you're going to have to... Okay, so if your character is not showing up, that means your code cache is actually kind of binded up. To reset it, just go back to the main menu, okay, to the start menu, and just wait to a demo, and it'll just flush itself. It takes a couple minutes. No, well, not that long, but. So shortly into this, it should up here in the corner it says clear code caching. So now the cache is cleared out. You can now start the game again. Okay, I don't know why that's happening. I just noticed this in this emulator that's happening a lot. Anyway, go to Group, Brawl, and you're ready to brawl. There she is. There's Aqua. So now we can go back and test her out. I like the tune one. Ah, crappy. Looks like maybe my unrestricted camera code wasn't the right one. Anyway, I will certainly post up the camera code and the file loading code up with the YouTube video in the description, so you can get the proper codes from there. Okay, but essentially that is how you add stuff the Brawl, how to run the emulator. Okay. Hopefully that wasn't too difficult. And if you guys have any more questions, let me know, and I'll happily try to answer them. Yeah. Anyway, good luck and enjoy installing your mods.